Welcome back and thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at what made it to the front pages of our national dailies this morning. We kickstart with a Daily Trust. Insecurity, 13 teenage girls abducted in Borno, and that's on pages 4, 5, 6, and 7 of the Daily Trust newspaper. In case you want to find more on that story.
All right, this morning, joining us to review some of the headlines of the pages of our national dailies is Ben Shamang. Good morning, Mr. Ben Shamang. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, we've seen all that's going on. And this morning, we woke up to 13 teenage girls abducted in Borno State. What is your take on that?
Yeah, you see, this incessant kidnapping that you are seeing, most of it happens in a group way. Of course, the vulnerable group is always the target. You go to a primary school, you go to a secondary school, and it's always not the day secondary school, it has to be a boarding school. There is no fence, and they carry out this deadly act. But you see, they are also aware of something. The moment there's always a change of guards, you've changed the service chiefs. Before these new ones could balance up, before they could do some changes here and there, these terrorists will always take an advantage of that situation, of that moment, and strike. And that's why you can see that Kwara State, there was an attack. You go to Borno, there was an attack. You go to Niger State, there was an attack. And all these attacks are aimed at, like I said, the vulnerable group, those who do not have the protection that they ought to have. So that tells you that the Boko Haram, ISWAP, the Lakurawas, they all are around and strong. So it behoves on everybody, especially the security agencies, to ensure that something is done and done holistically, very fast to ensure that schools, children, and parents are safe.
Talking about the security issues that we're facing in Nigeria, the FCT is not left alone. We can see on these headlines how villagers discovered 5 dead bodies riddled with bullets near FCT. In Garam, which is a Niger community that borders the FCT, and they have narrated how they found 5 decomposing human bodies in a bush not far away from the community. What does this say about the security that we have in the FCT?
Yes, honestly, that the president, all the service chiefs, anything defense, the police headquarters, DSS, civil defense, immigration, customs, the president, all are in Abuja. One would have expected that some of these things would not be happening around Abuja, in and around Abuja. And this also telling us that the gragra, let me put it this way, that Wike is doing in Abuja, we ought to have seen the cameras working. Cameras can do a lot of work to unravel some of these security challenges. And when we're saying everyone show your biometrics, you want to buy a phone, bring your biometrics. You want to open an account, the same thing. You want to have a Nigerian passport, the same thing. So if we have all of this, why is it hard for there to be some analysis of the crime scene and to investigate, put some analysis, some scientific approaches, and with that, fingerprints of the perpetrators will always be identified, and that is a better way of fighting crimes. The cameras surely will do. So if FCT is not too safe, as we are saying, I think that something is wrong. And this is where we expect that Wike should be showing his prowess, his capability. It's not just about pursuing land. Who are the people who are to occupy this land? They are human beings. And he's there because of human beings, not that he's there for land administration. We need security in FCT, just like we need everywhere in Nigeria.
All right, let's move to politics. Let's look at this headline. Atiku to pick up ADC membership card today. Now, barring any last-minute changes, the former vice president is to formally register with the African Democratic Congress and pick up his membership card. So what is your take on this? And, how do you think this cements his involvement in the ADC?
Yeah, you see, Atiku, maybe I would describe Atiku as a political traveler. As a founding member of PDP, Atiku left. And one is surprised that as a founding member, all the weakers that will come much later to join PDP are the ones, frustrating Atiku. Now he's gone from one party to another. Today he's going to pick a card. People are waiting to see if actually he will pick. But what will be his pedigree when he enters this new political party? Is it going to see that we're going to see a boom in the registration of new membership, bearing in mind that the election in Anambra State has turned out to be a kind of a judgment to Atiku, to Labour Party, and many of them. Why is it that nobody is challenging Labour Party in court because of that election? Which means that Labour, Abga has actually done the best they could, and they have won. So for Atiku to now say, okay, he's picking a card today, let us see how many people is actually taken to his newfound love, the new political party he's going into, that is also having some crises here and there. So we wait to see whether Atiku is really a political cloud, the way it used to be, even when as a founding member of PDP, he's been chased out of that domain, out of that foundation.
Okay, another headline just caught my attention, and which is, of course, business and talking about the Nigerian economy. We can see that Nigeria imports 98% of wheat used in making bread. I mean, that news is worrying. What's your take on that?
Very, very. But you see, when President Obasanjo came on board, he said, look, Nigerians can use cassava as one of the substances or materials to be used in making bread. Rather, those who are enjoying importation of all sorts of wheat, all sorts of materials for making bread, actually came out. Some even telling us that that can cause cancer. Cassava when was cassava created on earth? Also, when Obasanjo came in and said cassava can be part of the materials to be used for making bread, people condemn that. Now we are still relying on import. So there are people who are enjoying this kind of importation. A foreign exchange is going to import all of this, when many of the things we have in Nigeria can can salvage, can normalize the situation. We are just a consuming nation, and people are refusing to see that this thing you call innovation is just not there. I mean, some people will go to some Asian countries, come back with some biros as gifts. What do you have there? They are made from bamboo. Bamboo, we have them all over the place. Why are we not exploring all of this? And like President Buhari of blessed memory will say, we still import even a toothpick. And so it's just wonderful. Why and how we love this import thing. Our refineries are dead. We have to import crude oil, refined oil. At the point you want to exchange crude for refined. How can economy grow that way? How can Nigeria grow that way? It doesn't augur well for us at all.
All right, let's look at the international scene before we leave. Cameroon's opposition candidate Chiroma escapes to Gambia. Now, the Gambian government has now confirmed the presence of Cameroonian opposition candidate and self-proclaimed President-elect Issa Chiroma Bakary on its territory following post-election tensions in Cameroon. We've seen what happened after the election, and even before the election, Chiroma declaring himself as president-elect. So now him escaping to Gambia due to all that's happened after the election. What is your take on that, and how do you think it's going to be for him after this whole election?
Well, some will say that he could have stayed in Cameroon to fight it all with Paul Biya. But you see, Chiroma is also wise. It's really not Paul Biya who is fighting. Paul Biya is 92, barely moving. Some proxies are ruling Cameroon on his behalf, and these people will not mind unleashing terror on whoever they perceive is an enemy of state. And Chiroma is being classified as one. Recall that this is not the first time they're trying to arrest him, and he's been escaping at the point he came to the borders around Adamawa in Nigeria, and from there he's found his way out to West Africa. Now, there's also the saying that he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. He's probably not too foolish to remain there till the soldiers in Cameroon will kill him, and that's why he has escaped to the Gambia. And being there, therefore, would there be some kind of state issues between the host country of a political enemy of Cameroon and the Cameroonian authorities? So the whole of those things will have to be looked at. But again, it says something about African politics. Why is it that since independence around 1962, Cameroon has only produced two presidents, Ahidjo and now Paul Biya, who is 92. So why is it that Paul Biya cannot just let it go? Now Chiroma has to go to the Gambia to seek for asylum. So again, we are likely to see some political crisis. Will ECOWAS come in because Cameroon will say a country is hosting a political enemy? But again, when we're talking of democracy, why wouldn't there be someone to host opposition leader who is in danger? So Cameroon will still have to do a lot in terms of their march to democracy.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ben Shamang, for looking at the front pages of our national dailies this morning.
Thank you, and greetings from Ikobosi in Ekiti State.
All right, that is all we have right here on Daybreak. With that, we've come to the end of the show. Thank you to all that tuned in and watched all the way to the end, to the callers that shared their thoughts and opinions, and to our guests as well for being here and giving their own contributions. I'm Hawa Adamikia. Thank you for watching.
And I am Yemuna Bagudu. Do what to follow us on all of our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more news. So have a great day and stay safe.